That evening, I reached out to hold my wife, a small gesture, an attempt to close the widening gap between us. But before my arms could touch her, she stepped back. "Don't touch me," she said, her voice cold, firm, final. I froze where I stood, arms suspended awkwardly in the space between us. The silence that followed was heavier than any fight we had ever had. It hadn't always been this way. Claire used to melt into my arms the moment I came home, resting her head against my chest like she belonged there. Those were the moments that made the world feel right. But lately, everything had felt off. She stopped joining me in the kitchen. She turned away in bed, curling up on the far edge, her back a wall I couldn't get past. And whenever I asked if something was wrong, her answer never changed: "I'm just tired." That night, I didn't argue. I simply nodded, stepped back, and pretended her words hadn't cut as deep as they did. But something inside me cracked. You can't keep loving someone who's already stopped feeling. The next morning, she was in the kitchen, sipping her coffee as if nothing had happened. "Can I have your card?" she asked without looking up from her phone. "My card?" "Yeah, I need to go shopping," she said, her tone flat, almost entitled. I looked at her, and in that pause, memories came rushing back. The dinners I paid for, the vacations she planned, the bills I covered. While she drifted farther from me, something inside finally settled. I smiled faintly and said, "You told me not to touch you. So don't touch my money either." Her eyes snapped up, sharp with disbelief. "What did you just say?" "You heard me," I said, sipping my coffee. "If affection's off the table, so is convenience." For the first time in months, she looked truly startled. Then her face twisted with anger. "Are you serious right now, Ryan?" "Dead serious." She let out a short, bitter laugh and shook her head. "You're ridiculous. I just wanted to buy groceries." "Then use your own card," I said quietly. "Oh, right. You don't have one, do you?" The sound of her cup slamming against the counter broke the silence. A splash of coffee left a perfect brown ring on the marble, a small, ugly symbol of everything that had spoiled between us. All day, her words echoed in my head. "Don't touch me." It wasn't just rejection anymore, it was contempt. The kind that grows when love curdles into resentment. She didn't come home until almost midnight. I didn't ask where she'd been. I was done asking. But when she passed me on her way to the bedroom, a faint, musky scent followed, not hers. I didn't need proof. The truth hung in the air, heavy and sour. I lay awake long after she drifted off, listening to her even breathing, wondering when the pretending had started. Somewhere between hurt and exhaustion, a quiet decision formed, not out of anger, but out of clarity. If she didn't want my touch, she wouldn't need anything else from me either. Not my money. Not my presence. Not my life. The next morning, I woke before dawn, made coffee, packed a small bag, and left a note on the counter with just 3 words: "Don't wait up." By the time Claire opened her eyes, I was already gone. She called once, twice. By the 3rd ring, I was already miles away, watching the city shrink in the rearview mirror, letting the phone buzz until it stopped. I didn't know where I was headed. I just knew I needed distance from the house that had become a museum of silence and hurt. I checked into a rundown motel on the edge of town, peeling wallpaper, sputtering coffee maker, the works. And there, in that small, quiet room, for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. That afternoon, I finally picked up when she called. "Where are you?" she demanded. "Out," I said. "Out where?" "You can't just disappear, Ryan." "I didn't disappear, Claire," I replied quietly. "You did, months ago." There was a pause. I could almost hear her heartbeat through the silence. "What do you mean?" she asked. "I tried to hold you," I said. "You told me not to touch you. And since then, I've been everything to you. Your card, your patience, your convenience, but never your heart." For the first time in weeks, her voice softened. "Ryan, I just needed space." "Space is fine," I said. "But you built a whole life in that space without me." She didn't say another word. Then the line went dead. For the next few days, I stayed away, worked from the hotel, spent hours at the gym, walked the lakefront. It's strange how quiet loneliness becomes once you stop fighting it. On the fourth day, she showed up at the hotel. I saw her through the glass doors. Same blue coat, the same nervous eyes. "Can we talk?" she asked. I nodded and led her outside to a bench. "I'm sorry," she began, voice trembling. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't know how to feel anymore." "About me?" I asked, "or about someone else?" Her lips parted. She flinched ever so slightly, an answer without words. "You don't need to lie," I said. I could smell him. Tears welled in her eyes. "It's not what you think," she whispered. I almost laughed. "It never is." She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. The surprise in her eyes was the same one I'd felt the morning she told me not to touch her. "Hurts, doesn't it?" I said softly. She wiped at a tear. "Please don't leave me." For a moment, I almost broke. Love doesn't just disappear. It lingers, echoing what once was. But then I remembered the long, silent nights, the ignored messages, the way she turned away when I needed her most. "I'm not leaving," I said slowly. "I'm just done being invisible." I stood and took a small envelope from my jacket. "What's this?" she asked. "My card," I said. "You wanted it, remember?" She frowned and opened it. Inside was my replacement debit card, snapped clean in half. "For me," I said. "Just me." Her voice trembled. "Ryan, please." "I'm freeing myself," I said. She stared at the broken card, a small symbol of a marriage that had ended long before that morning. I walked away. This time, she didn't call after me. The wind cut cold against my face, but it felt honest. That night, I booked a small apartment, quiet, simple, mine. No traces of her. No ghost of her perfume. Just peace. A week later, a message came from her. "I miss you." I didn't reply. Some messages don't need answers. They need closure.